Writing for the new media has evolved over the last 1 decade as the most vital aspect of instant communication or convergent communication. It all started with the popularity of the internet in the 1990s and the introduction of a mobile phone in the mass market. The growth of social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram has flipped the usage of the internet and has taken the communication to the next level altogether. Marshall McLuhan, a mass media theorist, rightly predicted long ago that the World Wide Web is going to connect us to each other and it would shrink the world into one big global village. Over the last few years, the World Wide Web has shrunken all the other mass media like newspaper, radio, and television into our mobile phones. It is for this convergent capacity of the internet that learning to write for the web has become all the more crucial. This module will build up a foundational knowledge base about how to write for the web or the new media by making the students aware of the internet jargons and the vocabulary or lingo used by new media writers. The discourse design on new media would give a special emphasis on writing effective news articles to be published on social media and on writing to establish and sustain readership for blogs and video logs. The module will extend to include a brief on the principles of social media marketing. Before we delve into the aesthetics of new media writing, let us understand the meaning of new media writing and its core components. New media is an umbrella term that has all the forms of mass media converged into it. It refers to a wide range of digital platforms used for instant communication and for gratifying the needs of instant information, education, and entertainment at the user's convenient location, space, and time. The medium is the internet and the mobile, whereas the new media platforms are the text, image, and video sharing websites, social networking platforms, and other instant communication platforms. Writing for new media is defined as the art of instant communication using the various informative and networking platforms on the World Wide Web. New media writers use the internet platforms to publish the strategically designed verbal, non-verbal messages for informing, entertaining, and educating the target masses. General principles of writing for new media. There are some general principles involved in writing for the new media, which includes websites, blogs, video logs, social networking sites, etc. First, writing for instant communication via the web has to be in brief, using simple, concise, semi-formal or colloquial and very direct language. Short forms of terms are used while new media writing. This is primarily because the internet users want quick and short information that is readily available for their consumption at their convenient location, space, and time. Second, one paragraph for new media platforms should be of minimum 2 sentences and maximum of 5 sentences. Shorter posts lead to better engagement of users than the longer posts. Third, use of grammar rules and punctuation marks is a must to make meaningful media messages. Do not overuse exclamation marks to emphasize your point, as the professional use of punctuation is one mark at a time. Fourth, there has to be a visual break between two paragraphs. Insert images that support the textual content to maintain the interest of the user in the story. Fifth, the scripts for new media are to be written in the present tense and neither in the past nor in the future tense. This is done to convey the sense of immediacy and newness to the content shared. Sixth, the new media scripts are written using active voice. Use of passive voice is avoided while writing to keep the sentence simple and largely comprehensible. Use of active voice lends dynamism to your writing. For example, Mom Read the novel called A Thousand Splendid Suns. Active voice. The novel called A Thousand Splendid Suns was read by mom. Passive voice. 7th. Write authentic facts and figures by checking them from the credible information sources. 8th. Be specific in your writing rather than being vague while reporting events on social media. For example, sentence 1. The weather is very dicey today. Vague description. Sentence 2. It rained heavily in the morning but the sun shone at noon. Specific description. 9th. Ensure that you make the correct use of homophones in your writing. Homophones are words that sound similar but are spelled differently. For example, the words by, that is by, then bye by, and buy by are a set of homophones that are pronounced likewise but have different connotations and usages. Similarly, words like right and right, R-I-G-H-T, and W-R-I-T-E, or see and see, S-E-E and S-E-A, are homophones with different uses. 10th. Accustom yourself to using the software and online tools available on the web to check your language and grammar. Use the online tools available for making e-survey forms and for citing the references and making the bibliographies in the correct manner for giving a credible and authentic research base to your news articles. 11th. Use your opinions, ideas and emotions wisely and morally without hurting the sentiments of an individual or a group. 12th. Proofread the digital copy to check spelling mistakes and weed out difficult words, unnecessary explanations. 13th. Cut short the long sentences in your write-up. It is recommended by the new media experts that if you read your write-up loudly, you may be able to edit it in a better way, or a different perspective to write the story may strike you. 14th. Study the intellectual property rights with emphasis on the copyright laws. Make sure that you don't infringe the copyright and use the content while respecting the legal and ethical aspects involved in the story. Vocabulary of new media writers. First, behavior segmentation is the methodology of segmenting the target audience into smaller categories based on their social, political, public and personal behavior towards a brand, product or service. This term is used while writing for social media marketing. Second, Bitly is used to make longer website URLs shorter and simpler to share on social media platforms. Third, clicktivism is a term given to social activism carried out on the web by the social media users. Fourth, clickbait refers to the new media marketing strategy that is used to serve the users much sensationalized stories and advertisements on the web in order to get more clicks. It is virtual bait given to the users to get more engagement in the form of more clicks on their news or advertisement items. Fifth, crowdsourcing refers to fetching the content from a group of people on the social media platforms on the web. Sixth, filter is used to enhance the look and texture of the image by adding color, brightness, contrast, and visual effects. Filters are commonly used by the social media users on Snapchat and Instagram. Seventh, geo-targeting is a marketing technique used by the advertising agencies to deliver content to geographically scattered social media users. It allows the advertisers to segment, target and position different groups of people. Eighth, newsjacking is a marketing gimmick. Ninth, services online, using which the brands promote their products or services online by aligning it to a current issue. This is a common practice used by the marketers to inject their ideas in a trending news story in order to capitalize on the popularity of a news story and get more attention and to increase the product sale. 10th, podcast refers to the audio-visual episodic series stored in the form of digital files that is available to be downloaded from the internet as per users' convenience. 11th, pay-per-click (PPC) is the practice of placing advertisements on the websites and paying a certain amount of fixed money for every click that a user does on the advertisement. 12th, search engine optimization (SEO) refers to the process of improving the quality of traffic to a website from a search engine. 13th, troll is the practice of defending or offending users on social media by posting strong statements and a sarcastic or abusive messages to a particular person or group to garner more attention and reactions. Writing news articles on social networking sites. The news on the websites and social networking sites is written using inverted pyramid style, which places the most important information in the beginning, followed by the less important and least important details. The structure of news on social networking sites has the headlines, the intro or lead, the body copy of the news story, followed by the ending of the news story. Headline has to be short and straightforward, and it has to be written in 3 to 6 words. Headline is also called ticket on the meat. It has to be directly related to the body copy and has to be interesting enough to catch the attention of the users. Headlines that are not related to the body copy fail to sustain the interest of the users in the story. Be clear, concise, direct and to the point while writing the headlines for online news stories. Always use keywords with hashtags along with the headlines on social media to garner more reposts and story shares. Subheadings facilitate easy reading of the news article by directing the eye to a certain focal points. Subheadings are shorter, 3 to 7 words, and precisely descriptive of the subtopics, allowing the users to understand the sub-issues involved in the main news article. Alternatively, bullet points can be used with the highlighter in the news story to pay emphasis to certain newsy elements. Subheadings help the users serve the story, so they have to be unambiguous in nature. Intro or lead has to carry the crux or summary of the story using 5 W's and 1 H. In other words, the intro should carry the most important information of the news article in the format. What happened, when, to whom, where and how, and with what after effects. The introduction expands the headline and leads to the story in detail carried in the body copy. The ideal word length for writing the intro is from 50 to 70 words. News body or body copy. If it is an investigative report, present multiple perspectives attached to the news story rather than writing from a single standpoint. Use quotations of the interviewed persons in the body copy correctly by making use of direct speech and active voice. For example, the armed forces have committed heinous human rights violations in Kashmir, reported Jamal Hassan. Interesting and syllable quotations should be boxed and highlighted to add emphasis and maintain readers' interest in the story. Add pictures and graphics in the news story. Visuals always add interest of the readers and support the textual content of the news story. Pictures should be directly related and match to the news story. The credits of the picture are necessary to be written along with the meaningful captions. For practicing ethical journalism on the web, do not post the pictures of the victims of sexual harassment or mutilation without their consent. Ending of the story. Write about the present situation and the role of the government, civil society or local authorities in mitigating the problem or the issue. In this section, you have to write about what the readers should expect in the future, the limitations and conclusions of the story in very brief. Example of a news story on new media. If you have to write a news story on an environment issue like, for instance, the endangerment of sparrows in the capital city, you may start with writing in the format given below. Save Our Sparrows. Headline. Mishal Iqbal. Byline. Name of the correspondent. New Delhi, 11th Feb 2018, 8:09 am, IST. Location, date and time of publishing the news report. Photo credit, B.K. Gogia. The common house sparrow is one of the most ubiquitous birds around us and is one of the more familiar winged companions of human beings. It has, over a period of time, evolved with us. At one time, a very common sight. In the past few years, this bird has been on the decline over much of its natural range, both in the urban and rural habitats. The house sparrow is, in a sense, an ambassador to the common bird species. Endangerment of Delhi state bird. Subheading 1. Scientists first stated to notice a decline in the number of the house sparrow in the 1990s. Citizen Sparrow is an ongoing citizen science project in India in which members of the public are encouraged to contribute information on presence and absence of the house sparrow from different locations and for different time periods. This information is to be uploaded on their website www.citizensparrow.in. All the observational records are plotted on a map. This can be done by an individual or a school group or an NGO and even corporate companies as a part of their corporate social responsibility. Citizen participation for saving sparrows. Subheading 2. Put bird boxes and bird feeders outside your house or in your gardens. Water bowls or a bird bath in the hot summer afternoon helps birds to rehydrate. Grow plants and hedges that are native to the place. Ethical considerations of writing news on the web. First, follow the ethical journalistic principles of truth, fairness and objectivity while writing news on the web. Second, do not give your own biased viewpoints in the news article. Consider coverage of multiple perspectives. Third, publish facts and figures only by checking their authenticity and cite credible sources of information. Fourth, respect the right to privacy of the interviewed subjects. Fifth, do not manipulate the quotations of people to make the content sellable and avoid publishing ethnically controversial or religiously provoking pictures. Sixth, be accountable for what you write in the news story by mentioning your name in the byline instead of keeping anonymity. Also, do not post news content by making a fake email address or fake virtual identity. Seventh, do not use business tactics as a journalist to favor a particular brand or a product while writing news on the web. Eighth, do not write anything that harms the public sentiment by any means or form. Writing for social media marketing. Social media marketing is the art of strategic planning and implementation of marketing strategies to sell ideas, products and services using the social media platforms as the communication vehicles. This section will cover writing for marketing via various social networks, particularly the popular social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. David Ogilvy wrote in his book, Confessions of an Advertising Man, that the headings are read by 5 times more people than those reading the body copy. The heading of the advertisement is the hook or peg that invites the reader towards the published ad story, subsequently leading to call to action. Every social media post that you write is a reflection of your brand identity. That is why it is crucial to learn some basic principles about social media marketing and management. On social networking platforms, it is the consistency that counts the most. The more consistent posts, the more digitally active and responsive the brand. First, define the goal, purpose and target audience to bring focus and clarity towards the real purpose and the big and small targets. Writing brand strategy involves a clear understanding of the organizational goals and purposes. Goals can be derived from the mission statement of the brand. As a social media writer who is employed to write for a business, you need to be clear about why and how to use social media for maximizing company profits. Clearly define and segment your target audience for whom you choose to write. Second, choose the relevant social networks to build your online profile. 3 social networking sites that are the most popular amongst the global masses are Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Third, design a social media brand voice. How should your brand and its advertised products sound to the users on the social media? Serious, casual, professional or irrelevant? What tone is the brand going to adopt for communication on social media? Is it going to sound thankful, rude or attention demanding? Fourth, learn how to write in the lingo and style of writing for the selected social network. Let us learn how to write engaging and financially beneficial posts on the popular social networks. Twitter. Write every post very briefly using 140 characters with hashtags and short forms. Hashtags are used to highlight keywords in the news story. Use only 1 or 2 hashtags per sentence. Images can also be used with the text in the tweets. Address one topic or issue per tweet. Facebook allows you to post with text, URLs, images and videos. It is often observed by the advertisers that shorter posts work better on the social media in terms of audience engagement than the longer posts. Including a visual, image or video with the text always helps in retaining the reader's attention. Using 2 hashtags relevant to the post will make the post look better. Facebook can be used as an event organizer and crowdsourcing agent. Instagram is a pictorial platform that is used to communicate messages using primarily the pictures. Text is used to give the brief introduction, caption and context to the pictures. Hashtags are commonly used in context of images along with emojis to convey the mood of the posted pictures. Fifth, describe product or service benefits that are offered to the consumers by using words, graphics, audiovisuals and sound effects. Sixth, avoid using weasel words. There are certain words used to give impression to the readers as if the content is very impactful, when in real these words are shallow and meaningless. For example, try hopefully maybe. Replace these weasel words with words that convey certainty, assurance and conviction like 100% guarantee, clinically proven, etc. Seventh, regularly update your social media handles and brand profiles with the recent information about the latest developments in the market, brand promotion events and retail offers. Eighth, interact with the audience on social networking sites. It is very important to have a swift touch base with the audience to answer their queries, tell them about the product or service advantages and loyalty benefits. Every successful brand interacts with its customers on Facebook, Instagram and even WhatsApp on a day-to-day basis. There are two ways to interact with the audience on the digital media platforms. A. Active interaction includes sending regular updates to customers on mobile and emails, sending greeting cards on specific occasions, live interactions, sending important articles of consumers' interest. B. Passive interaction includes regular posts on social media about the latest developments and latest offers. Ninth, create brand value and promotional strategies. Usually, companies prefer using PowerPoint presentations to make strategies to promote the brand on the social media. 10th, learn how to use software for social media writing, like Grammarly for checking the spellings, Grammar, Social Media Optimizer for inviting more traffic towards your page, and Hashtagify.me for using the appropriate hashtags with the post. 11th, develop a consistent voice and a personality for your brand. A voice and personality that is true to the brand, its mission statement, and its ambassadors have to be reflected on the social networks all the time. The language has to be colloquial and appealing for the consumers to relate with the brand, its products and the social media managers. For designing the brand voice, consider doing the following activities. Writing for blogs and video logs. Writing for blogs involves sharing personal opinions, product or service reviews in the public forums for two-way interaction on the web. Blogs and video logs offer information and entertainment. Most of the media professionals are becoming popular bloggers. A blog post starts with planning the topic and creating the outline of the post through research and articulation skills. Writing a blog has to be according to the tastes and preferences of the target readers. A good blogger always puts the audience first. Write content that people want to read, share and repost on social media networks. First, the headline has to be informative, curiosity-invoking and entertaining. Second, language has to be informal or semi-formal and very colloquial for the readers. Third, use images and hyperlinks to enhance the blog post performance. Fourth, avoid repetition of facts and use of jargons and technical terms. Fifth, write short sentences and shorter paragraphs with hashtags and URLs. Sixth, use direct speech and active voice instead of indirect speech and passive voice while writing a blog. This is done to give it relevance in the present scenario. Seventh, avoid writing leading statements in blogs to persuade readers for adopting certain behaviors or buying certain brands, products and services. Eighth, keep the blog post short and concise and avoid writing call to action for promotion of certain brands. Ninth, give tips and techniques related to the issue that concern your readers at a personal or professional level. 10th, visual storytelling is one of the most popular techniques used by bloggers where images play the key role in explaining the content matter and text is used as filler due to the low attention and retention span of readers. Conclusion. Writing for new media is the skill every contemporary journalist has to inculcate to stay in sync with the digital media-led convergent journalism. This module was an academic attempt to create a foundational learning base for the students who aspire to become social media writers and social network managers. It covered the various technical as well as ethical aspects of writing news on the web. This module also cultivated a basic understanding about writing for social media marketing using tools, language tips and technical details. It has also given the basic guidelines for writing blogs and video logs that are becoming increasingly popular among the geographically scattered and diverse digital media users. That is all that we had for you for today. Till the next time, it's a goodbye.